because the current version of Easy Page Data are using EasyJS core inside, which is another extension. That's not a kernel extension. So that's not so complex to use. You set your value inside your full view, set a label like the title or the breadcrumbs or whatever, or you append to your array, and you get back your value inside the page layout. And through Easy Page Data, it's working better than the native persistent variable, because you can transport objects, and it's working fine in Moodle too. There is an example for the title. So inside your full.tpl or article.dpl or whatever, you just set your title value and get back. And at the end, inside your page layout, you don't need a cache block for that. That's useless because this value is inside your full.tpl, so at the end it's inside your view cache. It's already in the cache. The cache file, I mean, that's not static HTML, that's dynamic value, but the view cache is storing that inside the serialization file, the PHP file in the cache system. The same thing with the metadata, but you can transport the hash. After make a loop. That's a bit more complex for the breadcrumbs, because you need to transport a full HTML result. So that's possible to evaluate, to calculate, to generate this result inside your article.tpl or whatever. And you need to use a set block for that in the variable. And after that, you transport your result inside the Easy Page Data set the same way. Okay, now about EasyJS core, the EasyScript require, EasyCSS require. No, I don't need any more Easy Page Data for that. Because EasyJS core already uses the same persistent variable array you are using just before for your title, your metadata. EasyJS core uses it already, and use the specific name, CSS files, JS files. So these values are available already, just because you use EasyScript require and EasyCSS require. So there is an example, if you require two CSS files. At the end, you need or not a cache block that's related to your project. If you are very high traffic, you need that, I think, because you do not want to merge your CSS file on each call. That's better to have cache on top. But that's not so much big deal. There, I display an example because sometimes your key is so complex that I prefer to build a new template operator for that instead of using the template system. To calculate this key, I need two things. If I'm looking for my template operator, I need an array unique and to sort my CSS file, because I want the same key. If I include still 1 and still 2, or still 2 and still 1, I want to sort my file to be sure the key is the same in both situations. With the template system, it looks like that. I still prefer a template operator, but it's working. With a unique sort, that's fine. It's working. Okay, after that you can use the same technique for your current section and evaluate your CSS value. You expose your CSS value inside your page layout and setting up which section you need to highlight or which color or whatever. Okay, no more code because I don't have enough time for that, so I just have to explain how to do for your right column. For the right column, you should have a lot of different situations. That's depending on your project. Most of the time you have default column, specific column for your article. Or sometimes that's kind of mix with default block and a block beyond the default block only related to your article. The relation with the article is sometimes with easy flow, sometimes that's related objects. I cannot say. I think every situation is very different on the project, so that's not so easy. I see situation with using varnish and HTML include, for instance, for managing the white column. If you have an traffic, it could be a good solution. But if you focus on the default implementation, like on the webbing, or I'm not sure if the demo is working like that. I'm not really good enough in the demo. But most of the time you have a default column for your website or a custom column provided by the flow for your article. So you just have to use, again, the page data to expose your right column from your article to the page layout and to ask to the page layout if I have a right column from my article, display it. If I have not, display the default one. For displaying the default one, use the cache block one with a TTL. That's a simple solution. You can't do that if you need for each block inside your right column, if it's not so simple for you. At the end, I only need cache block for my CSS or GS embedding, but not so much in the same time. That's not so, not so much impact. I need for the main menu, but only with the CSS section. I guess I have between 5 and 10 values in my keys, so I have to generate between 5 and 10 template block files. If I have 2 site access, it will be more. But that's not a big deal at the end. The right column and the footer is not a big deal too. I need the cache block for the default right column with a TTL, so I have 1 template block file at the end. And the footer, I have 1 template block file. And at the end, I save the publish reputation, because with this demonstration, you do not generate more than 100 template block file for your project, even if your project has thousands of nodes. So that's all for me. Do you have a question? Baba? Do you have a situation you are not sure to be able to solve after we speak? Yeah?
How do you think about how much of these persistent variables is good to have? Maybe it's not good to have too much of this.
Yeah, it's not good to have too much because it's in the memory.
Yeah.
And I think there's a limit because it's serialized, and if you store more than 64 megabytes, it's stolen. But anyway, that's not a good solution to store that more than 60 megabytes of data inside the image.
I'm not sure to get exactly the point.
There's a limit. If you want to store really big data inside easy page, that's it will not work.
Yeah, but why do you need that for which kind of situation? You don't need to store so many data because that's only, when we speak about the titles, the breadcrumbs, or white column, or whatever, that's not so big. So of course, if you try to use that for a tricky thing, very complex, and use that for transporting a lot of data, that's not a good practice at the time. Yeah. I think that's just a good practice for exposing data from your view cache to the page layer. And to think every time, where is a better place to evaluate my value? Do not evaluate again in the page layer. That's useless. You lose your time, performances.
Didn't you have any problems with maintaining all your templates? If you have like 100 content classes, for instance, and you want to from the, let's say, 200 templates display a title, and you have to repeat the whole code snippet all over again, all node-view templates. Don't you find this is quite, let's say, less handy than?
Do you understand? No, it's too far from you.
I think what you're saying is that now you have a snippet of code that has to go in on top of all of your class templates, right?
Yeah, well, what if you want to display like, if you want to display, for instance, a template line and you have like 100 content classes, which happens on really big websites, and you have 200 templates, and what do you think about the maintenance of that?
You can still encrypt templates inside templates.
Yeah, but then do you have like a building template strategy? If you will forget, or for instance, one include, then you will be messed up with the template and so on. So
at first, I think that's not a good thing to have Android content classes. Maybe there are mistakes inside the conception in the beginning because you never need so many classes in your project. But of course, if you have Android template for your full view, at first I will think to include all the generic templates parts inside other templates. And at the end, that's not a big deal because the view cache is doing the job, putting in the cache the values. But you will have more an issue because your view cache runs the cache blocks. Because you have too many content classes, so you still evaluate a new viewful for each kind of content classes, and it could be a waste of performances. I never had a project with Android content classes.
Well, I mean, I suppose you could do like an if-else in the page layout, though, to say if the persistent variable is there, use it. Otherwise, do the old way, and then kind of.
Yeah, you always need to test if the value is setting up or not, and to have another code for managing the situation. If the variable is empty. Yeah, like for the white color. Yeah.
How would you handle the special pages which don't have view cache, for example, content search? Just use the old cache blocks, or?
Yeah, it's discussion that yesterday we showed. Yeah, for a module, you can still use the cache block for caching each line's view line, for instance, and content result. Of course, if you have 1 million of different possible results, which is not maybe possible in the English because 1 million content objects is not so much possible. But 100,000, I guess you will try to use a subtract query on top of your cache block to be sure to clear this cache block each time your content is updating. So you will generate at the end 100,000 template block files. But we have a subtract query that's not so much a problem because your cache never moves if you do not update your content. I'm not sure on 100,000 content object projects, all these objects are updating every day. So at the end, you can fix an expiry value very high, like never. Just trust the subtract query fixed on the node of the content. And could be safe at the end because the cache just will expire the related nodes and not the other. So you are never in a situation to clear the whole cache. Except if you do by the command line, which is not a good practice. En français?
What's your strategy for a front page that has a lot of Ajax?
Front page with Ajax?
Yes. Since the Ajax is not cached.
Could be a good situation for